welcome to No Broken Legs Podcast. I am your host, Evan Belfiore. Joining me as always is Jimmy Champ. Jimmy, how are you on this nice Saturday evening?
Man, I'm feeling good. COVID's hitting kind of hard here in Ohio, but so far everybody I know is safe. I'm currently on a little lockdown due to some contact tracing, but we're all good. And man, I'm looking to build off of last week. I went 8-5 last week, had a really good week, so hoping to keep that rolling.
Yeah, I've done all right picking winners. I've been terrible against the spread. But what are you going to do? We're coming off the Buckeyes got a win this afternoon. That was nice. Indiana kind of put a scare into them there late.
Yeah, it was good to see them play a competitive game. It was kind of weird. It was kind of a weird game, but hey, they got the win.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
I hear Ohio State fans complaining they're not running the ball well enough, and they ran the ball well enough today.
We do have one game in the books here for Week 11. Seattle started things off with a big win in the NFC West. They cover against Arizona. If that Seattle defense continues to show up, Jimmy, that's going to make our Super Bowl pick look good.
Yeah, that's all it's going to be. I'm sure had we picked, like I said, we don't pick the Thursday game because of when we record, but had we picked the Thursday game, I'm sure we both would have taken Seattle with where that line was. You know, we think Seattle was really good. We don't think Arizona's quite there yet. It's just going to be, can the defense just be good enough to where Russ doesn't have to be great, like superstar great every week? Yeah. Can the defense just contain offenses? They had a great game plan against Kyler. They really leaned on him. Every time he took a hit, they put a big body on him. He is a little guy. So they really did a good job of just getting in every little shot they could on him. They did that. If that defense plays like that, then they're going to the Super Bowl. I just don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah, I agree. Our first Sunday game is going to be the student versus the teacher. Romeo Crennel and his Texans taking on Bill Belichick and the Patriots. The Patriots are 2-point favorites here. I think they're. I'm reversing course, I know, on this, but I actually like New England as a lock here. I think they just own Houston.
I think they owned Bill O'Brien more so than they own Houston and Romeo.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Bill Belichick versus Romeo Crennel. That's at least a 5-point game.
I agree, but the Houston skill positions versus what New England has might swing at 7 points the other way. I'm still not really convinced that New England is a better team than Houston. I think if the weather wouldn't have got crazy last week, Baltimore would have won that game. I'm taking the Texans. I don't think New England can exploit Houston's deficiencies that they have on defense like the way the Browns did.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the 2 points. There's also plus 116 on the money line, so I might make that bet as well. But yeah, I'm gonna take the 2 points. I'm just not convinced. New England's still got to show me something. I mean, they haven't looked good since Cam had COVID, and I'm just not sold. I do believe they're getting Stephon Gilmore back, so that makes a big difference, but I just don't think they got the horses for this race.
I got you. This just feels like a week where they get to 500 and everybody's like, uh-oh, here come the Patriots.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
Eventually, hopefully fall apart.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying kind of dumping the dirt on New England. I'm not going to stop. I know Houston has been bad this year, but I don't think New England's been good enough to be a 2-point road favorite.
We shall see, of course. Our Cleveland Browns are facing the 3-win NFC East leading Philadelphia Eagles. Normally, I would start this off by saying, well, this is a game the Browns usually tend to lose. But after winning against Houston last week, the Eagles are not very good against the run. I have a little stat for you, Jimmy.
Bring it.
The Philadelphia Eagles have allowed the most 20-plus yard runs in the NFL. Do you happen to know which running back has the most 10 or 20-plus? I think it's both, 10 and 20-plus yard runs in the NFL this year?
I'm pretty sure his name's Nick Chubb.
Yeah, and that's despite missing all of those games. I think Chubb and Hunt run wild, and they just run all over the Eagles.
Yeah, I know sports journalists, they've lived on beating the Browns down our entire adult lives.
Yes,
but
they have.
I don't understand this line at all, even with Jurassic Miles being out this week. Wentz looks worse than Baker. The Eagles can't win games in their own division. but they only get 2.5 against the Browns. Like, I'm so confused. The Browns win this by at least a field goal. It's a lock for me. I don't understand this line. I don't get it unless Vegas is just trying to get some money on the Eagles. This should be like a 5 or 6 point spread. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
The Browns are the far superior team. At this point, Stefanski looks like he's more in control of his system than what Doug Peterson is. I don't understand it, but I'll happily take the Browns as a lock.
Doug Peterson looks like he doesn't know what to do with his team.
Yeah, I agree.
And his team doesn't look like they really know what to do with him. I don't know. They seem to be on completely different pages in Philadelphia, and that on top of the fact that Cleveland should just be able to run the ball on them. Like, Philadelphia just can't stop the run.
Yeah, I mean, not being able to stop the run and playing against the Cleveland Browns is a bad combination right now. The passing offenses should be a little better because I don't think they're going to get the crazy Cleveland weather we've had the last 2 weeks, but I just don't understand this line. Like, this line was one that was really confusing to me this week. I'm sure it's hard for Vegas to have to make the Cleveland Browns a touchdown favorite in a football game, but that's what they should be.
There's probably like a fail-safe that's just, popped up and was like, wait, are you sure?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, moving on. Jimmy, your boy Taysom Hill, he's going to get his first start for the New Orleans Saints against the Falcons. He's going in as a 4-point favorite, which is kind of surprising to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons at plus 3.5. I'm also going to bet the Falcons money line at plus 157 because this might take a couple weeks for the Saints to get this figured out. Like, their offense has looked bad a few times this year with Drew Brees at quarterback, and now Sean won't even all the way commit to Taysom Hill. Like, you're going to switch between Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston for drives. Like, I don't understand. I think Taysom Hill is a great athlete, and he's done enough for that organization to deserve a chance when Drew Brees can't play. I think it's going to take a while. I'm curious. This is a game I want to watch a lot of because I am curious what New Orleans looks like, but I'm going to take the Falcons. It probably feels like a field goal game, and I can get 3.5, so I'm going to take the 3.5.
I'm going to take the Saints. I think this Mad Hatter shit works for a week. And I just really don't like Atlanta. I can't. I look at Atlanta and I look at New Orleans, and I just go New Orleans, even without Drew Brees, should be more than 4 points better than Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I understand it. I get it. I'm just...
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of those games where I really liked the spread because it just really kind of made you think about it. If I knew for sure that Taysom Hill was going to start and play every single snap at quarterback, I probably would have taken the Saints. But there's an outside chance Jameis Winston is going to get into this game, and Lord knows what that's going to look like.
Well, it looks like we're going to get a chance to see and find out. So that should be interesting regardless. We've seen this not work in college, so it can work in spurts, I think, but as a long-term strategy, it's doomed to fail.
Yeah. I will say this stretch where Drew Brees isn't going to be playing because he should be out for a few weeks with the long list of injuries that he has going on.
Broken ribs, and then he had a punctured lung as well.
Yeah, this is a chance for both Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, whoever ends up getting to play more. This is a chance for them to kind of cement their future a little bit, whether it's with the Saints or another team. If they can show, hey, we can really play, we can do this. Jameis has got himself figured out. Taysom Hill really is a quarterback. They both have a chance to really kind of move up the rankings of quarterback in the NFL. So we'll see what happens.
They do. Somebody moving up the rankings of quarterbacks is Joe Burrow. He's going to be leading the Bengals. They're going to Washington. They're 1.5 point favorites against the football team. I'm taking the Bengals. I'm not going to watch this game. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, this is one of those no snaps will be watched games for me as well. I'm going against my gut, and I'm going to take the Washington football team.
Ooh.
Alex Smith looked decent last week. Terry McLaurin is already getting a little rapport with him. Logan Thomas, the big tight end they have. Alex Smith for his career has loved throwing to tight ends. So I like that. I don't think... Right, the Bengals are favored, correct?
No, Washington's favored by 1.5 right now.
It's still just 1.5 for Washington, right?
Yeah. I think that's madness. I think the Bagels win this game outright.
Yeah, and I don't think it's enough points, though. I don't think it's enough points for Backdoor Joe to get it done. Like, you're either going to – the Bengals are either going to win the game outright or they're going to lose by more than 1.5.
Yeah, I think they win this one. I think they're going to go to 3-6-1.
Thanks, Billy.
Yeah, and they'll and when the Browns beat Philadelphia, the Bengals and the Eagles will have the exact same record.
And one will be in last place in their division, and one will be leading their division.
It makes no sense.
But I agree with you. It's not a game I want to watch. I think Washington's defense can do enough, and I'm just curious. I want Alex Smith to succeed. I think that's probably the biggest reason I'm making this pick. Like, I typed the Bengals. I want the Bengals, but for some reason I'm taking Washington. I don't know why. We'll see what happens. It's good when we go against each other. So
yeah. Well, we have playoff implications galore as Baltimore is hosting Tennessee. Ooh. Both of these teams 6-3. I like the Ravens to win this game. I'm actually making it a lock. I think they run the ball really well this week, and I think that's going to be the key to them winning here. I mean, it's a huge spread, 6.5 points.
Yeah, it's a huge spread. It's continued to move. It sat at 5 for a while, 6 for a while, and now it's at 6.5. I'm also taking the Ravens. I don't think the Titans are that good. I'm just going to keep saying it. I don't think the Titans are that good. I think the Ravens are good at what the Titans are bad at.
Exactly.
So I think that's why the Ravens will win this game. The Ravens can run the ball, and they've got some big guy playmakers downfield. That's what Tennessee struggles with. And then on defense, the Ravens blitz to stop the run or sack the quarterback. And when you do that to Tennessee, you can get them out of their game flow. So
yeah, both of those I just think will be effective.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the Ravens, without the weather at the end of that game last week, the Ravens would be coming off of a big bounce back win against New England. It didn't happen. So I'm sure they're hungry to play this game. I think Tennessee's probably still reeling from the whooping they took from the Colts. So yeah, I'm with you on this one. It's the Ravens for me.
Yeah, Tennessee you look at their record and see 6-3 and just, man, you think they're a soft 6-3, which, I mean, that's not a good thing to think about any team that's 6-3.
Yeah, I totally agree.
The Detroit Lions are going to Carolina, and they are giving 2.5 points in this game. Jimmy, I'm really confused by this line. I like Carolina to win outright, and I'm actually making this a lock. And what am I missing?
You're even without Teddy Bridgewater?
Oh, that's probably what I'm missing. Oh, God, Teddy got hurt last week. What am I thinking?
Yeah, it was questionable midweek, but they've ruled him out, and I think that's where that line is. Carolina may still be the better. Carolina may still be the better team.
I'm switching my pick to Detroit.
Yeah, I took Detroit. Matt Stafford's banged up. DeAndre Swift and Kenny Golladay are out. If you like fluid, well-run offensive game plans, probably don't watch this football game.
You know what? I'm sticking to my original pick. The hell with it.
This is gonna be an ugly football game. I am taking the Lions, but this is gonna be an ugly one. I'll probably watch some of it just to see what Carolina looks like without Teddy. But yeah, this game's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna take the Lions. They'll do just enough to keep Matt Patricia's job alive for a little bit longer. But if you lose to Carolina's backup, that could be a problem.
That's actually I'm just gonna go right back to Carolina as a lock. I like this is coming straight down to Matt. This is coming straight down to Rule versus Patricia.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
That's just what I'm gonna go with because Patricia's just not a good coach, and I think Rule's done a great job in Carolina.
Yeah, that was exactly how I felt about Flores versus Lynn last week. So I totally get it.
Yeah. The Steelers giving 10.5 to the Jaguars. This really smells like Pittsburgh sleepwalks through a game after handling the Bengals pretty easily last week.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags with this many points.
Me too.
Without without Minshew, the offense showed a little bit of life. This I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers lost this game. This just seems like that type of game. I agree with you. It's the type of game the Steelers sleepwalk through. I don't think the Steelers' offense is good enough to expect them to beat anybody by that many points right now if it's not Cincinnati and Cleveland. For whatever reason, their offense and defense really got up for those two games. But everything else, like they've been covering spreads, but it's just been right on the points. I don't think they can beat Jacksonville by that many points. And if Jacksonville won, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. These are just the games that Mike Tomlin seems to just do enough to win. And then sometimes one weird thing goes wrong for them and they lose, like maybe a kickoff return or something like that. So I'm definitely taking the Jaguars with the points in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags. I don't think they win this game unless, like if they get a kickoff return or they get a defensive touchdown or something random like that happens. Okay, maybe they win the game. But barring that, I think they lose this by about a touchdown.
Yeah, but that's fine. They cover with that.
Right on. Next contest, a red-hot Miami looks to keep pace with Buffalo in the AFC East. They're heading to Denver, giving 3.5. I think at some point Miami's run is going to end and they're going to have a bad game, but I don't think it's this week.
Yeah, I don't either. This is a lock for me with Miami. Drew Lock is gonna play for Denver, but they're better and beaten. They're a year away from being a viable team. I think the Dolphins are just better. I think they're better on every side of the ball. And Brian Flores, I'm sure the run's gonna stop, but I don't think it'll be a trap game. Like Belichick doesn't lose a lot of trap games, and I think Brian Flores will not do that either. Like he will always have his team ready to play his competition. So I'm taking the Dolphins as a lock.
Wow. We agree on that one. I'm not taking it a lock, but we definitely agree on that one. The terrible Jets are going across the country to take on the crummy Chargers, Jimmy. It's just 9.5 points is so many. I'm taking the Jets because I don't know what to do with all those points with the really bad Chargers. And this is another game that I will try to watch as little of as possible.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some of this game because it's going to be exciting. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I'm taking the Jets as well. I don't think they can win the game. They'll stay defeated. But to expect the Chargers to beat any other NFL team by that many points is crazy to me. I do think the Chargers' passing attack will still look good, but they'll find a way to keep the Jets in the football game. I will say, if the Jets were to not cover the spread, like if the Jets get blown out by the Chargers, you might have to fire Adam Gase.
I don't know. I think they're in the shit, man. They're selling it to the end of the season.
All right. Okay. Well,
I would have fired him already. So you're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, if I was running the team and I got blown out by the Chargers, you can't beat anybody by more than a point, I'd fire his ass. But I do hear what you're saying. But yeah, I don't think they'll win the game, but the Jets should cover that. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, another surprising line that I saw was Green Bay. They're getting 1.5 in Indianapolis. This was a game that when I first saw the matchup, I thought Green Bay should be favored. Indianapolis' defense is playing better, but I think Green Bay wins this game.
Yeah, I think this is an overvalue of the Titans and what the Colts did to them 2 Thursdays ago.
Yeah, I can buy that.
Like, that's what I think it is. Yeah, this is a lock for me with the Packers.
Wow.
The Packers are just better. I don't really understand this line. I agree with you. I don't get it. The money line's right around $100.
We're both speechless. We're so confused.
Yeah. The money line's right around 100 for the Packers, so I'm definitely making that bet as well. Like, I don't understand this. Like, they'll force the Colts to get out of safeties in the box because their passing game is so good. Then the run defense isn't as good, so then Aaron Jones can do some stuff. And at some point, Phillip Rivers is going to have to try to go toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, and we know how that'll work out.
Exactly. Green Bay's going to win and Indianapolis is going to lose. That's how that's going to work out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We have a revenge game next. Kansas City looking to avenge their only loss of the season. They're traveling to Las Vegas. Jimmy, they're 8-point favorites here. I love it. I'm taking the Chiefs as a lock. I think they're going to make a statement this week.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Chiefs get to prove why they're the best team in the league this week. There's a lot of people that think the Raiders can do it again. I think those people are stupid. The Chiefs are the best team in football. They get to avenge that loss. They won't make the same mistakes. They'll get to Derek Carr. Derek Carr's not going to get to sit in the pocket like he did the last game. They're going to blitz the crap out of him and make him get rid of the ball. I don't see it. I really have trouble seeing an outcome where the Chiefs lose this game. But this is a big statement game for them, and it helps our Browns out giving the Raiders this loss. So go Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs Kingdom. Woo. Go Chiefs. Yeah, I know the 8 points, there are a lot of people that probably think the Raiders are going to stay within a touchdown. I ain't one of those people. Like, Andy Reid's going to want this game. Like, this is a run up the score game. This is a big brother game to show, like, yeah, you got the better of me there in the backyard the other day, but now there's people watching, and I'm going to slap you around.
Yeah, the Raiders have the Chiefs' full attention this week. Two teams that will not have my full attention this week are the Minnesota Vikings and Dallas Cowboys. Minnesota's hosting Dallas. They're favored by 7. I'm rolling with Minnesota. I think they keep rolling with Dalvin Cook. I just keep riding. Why not?
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I think Dalvin Cook is it. I'm taking the Vikings as well. If this was a push and it ended up being a touchdown game, that might not surprise you too much. I believe Andy Dalton is back, so that'll make a difference. I don't think it makes enough of a difference, but that'll make a difference.
That's a lateral move.
Yeah, well, come on now. It's a little more than a lateral move, but not much. But I just think the Vikings have found when Dalvin Cook is healthy, the Vikings are able to find themselves. They can run the ball a lot. Kirk Cousins, play action, max protection, 2 routes to choose from. That's what he's best at. Dalvin Cook looks like a top 5 running back in the league, which is what he is. The Vikings defense is playing with a little more energy now that the offense is scoring more points. This should be a pretty easy game for them, and they're trying to get their season back on track, and they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, a win this week puts them at 500. They kind of think about getting into the playoff race.
I don't think they'll quite get there.
No, I don't think they get there either. But I think if they would end the season competing for that last spot, they would look you look at this season a lot differently than if they wind up like 6-10.
Yeah, I completely agree. And they just give much credit to Mike Zimmer. You know, he's a battler, he's a fighter, he's that old school, fucking do your job kind of coach.
That is.
And he's got him fighting back, but Dalvin Cook just really makes that team go. I mean, the week with Alexander Madison, they looked horrible. With Dalvin Cook back in there, they look viable. So, yeah, I think they handled the Cowboys pretty easy. And Dallas, the Cowboys starting to look at a top 5 pick.
Yeah. We end on Monday night. We have the LA Rams traveling across the country to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers 4-point favorites here. I got to be honest, Jimmy, I love the Rams in this. And I think they're going to be able to get pressure on Brady, and that's going to throw him off his game. And I just think the Rams win. I'm making it a lock.
Yeah, it's a lock. It's a lock for me, man. My Rams are going to win this game. They can do the things that Tampa Bay has struggles with. Aaron Donald and Tom Brady are going to be best friends. They're going to get pressure on Brady, and Brady struggles with that. Tampa Bay's offense is fluttering a little bit. They can't figure out which wide receiver to throw the ball to, which running back to hand it off to. I just really I love the Rams. They win this game, they've got a serious chance for a top 1 or 2 seed in the NFC, depending on how some things shake out towards the end of the year. I love this team. I did not look at the money line, but I'll be making whatever the money line bet is on the Rams because I just think they win this game outright. I'll happily take points. I think they're better than Tampa Bay. Now, mind you, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be slow. It's going to be methodical. You're not going to know the number of the guy that scores the touchdowns for the Rams. But they're going to win the football game.
There'll be guys scoring touchdowns for the Rams.
Yeah, they're going to win the game, and it's just Sean McVay has got back to his identity of run the football and make Jared Goff do as little as possible and just hope he's efficient when he throws the ball, which he tends to be. And I love the Rams here. I love the Rams in this spot.
No, we're in agreement on that one. Who should our listeners be looking at for their fantasy plays this week?
There's a lot of really good spots here. If the weather is normal in Cleveland, start all your Browns as well as Miles Sanders on the other side of the ball. Going to that Chargers-Jets game, man, Herbert and Keenan Allen are great starts this week. I absolutely love those plays. And then going to that Titans-Ravens game, I think this is a spot for the Ravens passing attack to smash as well as the running attack. I think Hollywood Brown, he's probably been sitting on your benches. Go ahead and fire him up this week. Mark Andrews, don't worry about your tight end. You don't need a streamer this week. Put Mark Andrews back in your lineup. This is a week to, even in DFS, this is a week you can pay up for Lamar because I think he'll get some rushing and passing touchdowns. There's just a lot of the big name players I think will play big this week as well. I love Atlanta's passing attack. I think you can play Calvin Ridley, play Julio Jones. Those are great spots. I love Houston too. Stephon Gilmore will be back, so he's probably going to take away Will Fuller. But I love the Deshaun Watson, Brandon Cooks. Cooks is one of those guys you're never sure. Do I put him in flex or keep him on the bench? I would play him this week because I just don't trust New England. If you believe in Ben Roethlisberger still, then you should go ahead and play your Pittsburgh Steelers pass catchers. If you believe in Roethlisberger, start Deontay Johnson, start Juju, start Chase Claypool. I don't believe in him, so I won't be starting him, but I could understand why somebody would start him.
I could see Roethlisberger throwing 2 early touchdowns and then that's it. They get up early and then kind of spend 2.5 quarters dicking around.
Yeah, and like we talked about with the game, I love the Chiefs game. Like Sammy Watkins has been ruled out, so they called up one of the other wide receivers who has caught some touchdowns. But if the Chiefs scored 80 points in this game, I wouldn't be surprised. And I think
they're out for blood.
Yeah, I think because it's going to be high scoring, I think you could play Josh Jacobs and Darren Waller. Definitely fire both of them up. But if you have Chiefs, if Mecole Hardman is out there in your league, still on waivers, pick him up, put him in a lineup. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, pay up for him in DFS because I think the Chiefs are going to be out for blood. The other top teams in the league have shown some different little weaknesses here and there. Like most people, even though the Steelers are undefeated, most people don't buy into them. I still think they're the third best team in the AFC. And as soon as they lose a game, I'm going to knock them down even farther. But I still don't think they're as good as the Chiefs or the Bills. And I just think the Chiefs are going to use this game to just say, hey, this was the one team that beat us, and we just took them into the center of the ring, locked the figure 4 on them, grabbed the bottom rope, and made them cry uncle. We put them away in this football game.
I agree. Any final thoughts here on Week 11?
No, I'm excited. There are a couple games. Those are a couple games that I'm just really excited for. I think that Rams Tampa Bay game that has huge playoff implications.
Yes, it
does.
And
then Titans Ravens game. You have two teams that were really hot at the start of the season. Their seasons have kind of tailed off. A win here, you can kind of get back on track, but a loss here, and the playoffs is going to be now you're in a battle with some up-and-coming teams that are on the rise. That's a super important game for both of those teams, and I just trust Baltimore a little bit more. And the Browns game, we keep talking about this. Can the Browns continue to win games they should win? Because they still have a couple more cupcakes on their schedule. After this one, Philadelphia's offense has looked bad. You don't want to be the team that Philadelphia's offense gets right against.
No.
And I understand Myles Garrett isn't playing, but the defensive line has got to be good. There are some guys that are making big money on the defensive line. They got to play well. We know the linebackers are suspect. We know there's one bad hole in the safety. Everybody else has got to step up. I need Denzel Ward to lock down Fulgham. Somebody's got to keep a body on Dallas Goedert. You got to score enough points to where Carson Wentz has to throw the ball because Carson Wentz throwing the ball has been the other team's best friend this year.
Yeah, I think if they make him throw enough, he'll throw a couple of picks. And the Browns have shown that if they get a turnover or two, that will be enough for the offense to convert a win.
Yeah, I know there's some other teams in the league. Most off the top of my head, Miami. Stefanski continues to win games. Does he have a shot at Coach of the Year this year?
No, I highly doubt they'll give it to a Cleveland Browns coach. I think you're looking in the right area with Miami. He's getting all the publicity. You have to remember it's a media award. The media votes on it, so the narratives really matter here.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, but like I said, those are the games.
There is still a lot of games left to be played here. I mean, if Cleveland gets 10, 11 wins, and Miami winds up behind them, it'll be difficult for teams to say, oh well, Flores deserves it more than Stefanski. The fact that he's a first-year coach, everything that happened with COVID, the voters are going to have to take a lot of things into account, and still got almost half the season left to play.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's fair. But yeah, but there are, like I said, those are the games I'm probably most focused on. And then, like the Washington-Cincinnati game, I am curious to see what Alex Smith looks like. I'm going to see it in highlights because I'm not going to watch any of it. But I am curious to see what Alex Smith looks like. And just happy we still have football as the cases rise across the country. Everybody, man, please wear your mask. Stay safe out there. But, yeah, I'm glad we still have football so far. The NFL's still doing a pretty good job. Like, they're
and you're not seeing the games being pointed at as spreader events.
No,
that's a very important step, which tells you that the systems that they're putting in place, not just for the players and the staff, but for fans in the stands and the concessions people that are working for those fans, that everything's working, or at least it seems to be working so far, which is good.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited for those handful of games this week. And I would like to see Deshaun Watson get a week to shine. Like a Deshaun versus Cam is kind of a cool thing to me. It's kind of like what the blueprint was for what you thought a successful black quarterback would look like, and then Deshaun somehow made that better.
Yeah,
like I know
he added more precision passing to what Cam Newton does.
Yeah, I mean I know Cam's had a couple of amazing seasons, but outside of those couple of amazing seasons, his career hasn't been as great as I think some people think it has. And like
he's been good. He hasn't been fantastic. I mean, he was an MVP candidate, deservedly so. But
yeah, absolutely. But it's just going to be. I think that's cool. To see a game with Cam and Deshaun where. You're seeing the next evolution of what a lot of people thought was what the best version of a black quarterback could be. And then there's Lamar, who's just as successful, but doing it in a totally different way. And I love that. Like, I love that they actually aren't just in a Randall Cunningham window bubble anymore.
Yeah, like they're just quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're quarterbacks now. And that's cool. And I would just like, there's a Texan fan in my household. So I would like to see the Texans beat the Patriots once. Like, it's been downhill ever since they tried to wear those Letterman jackets. Like, it's been bad news. So I would like to see the Texans beat the Patriots. Just because it's been fun. Patriots losing football games. I like it. Hopefully
it's a nice change. Well, hopefully we can celebrate a Patriots loss and a Browns win on Monday morning, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, I mean, those three games have just huge implications. I do think the Dolphins are going to win, but, the Raiders losing is something the Browns need since they weren't able to handle that business when they played. So it's crazy to be at this point of the season, and the Cleveland Browns just need to take care of games they should win, and they can go to the playoffs. And it's awesome, and I love it. And even in the COVID season, you're seeing a football town get back to being a football town. Like, it's been a long time since we were more concerned about the Cleveland Browns in the NBA draft. Like, it's been a while. It's been a while, and we're seeing the football town come back, and I love it. And I love Nick Chubb being back, Wyatt Teller being back. It was so good last week. Even though Nick Chubb made me lose a fantasy week by not putting that ball in the end zone, it was a heads-up play, and I loved it.
Yeah,
And go Browns.
I lost my sizable Browns cover bet, but I had some other plays with the Browns and some money line teasers that all paid out, so it was fine. It was fine. It was
Yeah.
all fine. Everybody
It was-
needs to chill
yeah.
out about Nick Chubb. We've seen running backs do the right thing with this before. I don't know why we debate it. I don't know why people get up in arms about it. It's the right play.
Well, it's that national narrative. Like, everyone would expect Cleveland Browns running back to run that ball into the end zone,
Yeah,
score the
fuck it
touchdown,
up.
and then somehow the Browns lose the game.
Yeah, they expect the Browns to fuck it up, but they didn't fuck
Yeah,
it
and now
up
that-
because they're not the same old Browns anymore.
Yeah, and it's kind of fucking people up.
Good. Keep fucking them
I
up.
love it. I love it.
All right. Well, that's going to be a wrap this week. Jimmy, thank you for joining me.
I'll love being here, man. Everybody keep them legs safe out there.
All righty, and we'll be back next week with reaction to Week 11 and our Week 12 picks. Thank you for joining us.